everyone, welcome to the social media panel for BBLC 2021. We are so excited to be here with you today and so excited that you decided to take some time and spend it with us. So my name is Samantha Cook. I am the chair of our Global Ambassadors program, and I'm joined today by four of our outstanding student leaders who are savvy professionals at social media, and I'm going to let them go around and introduce themselves now. So Kelly Boo, why don't you get us started?
Why not? Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Kelly Howard, also known as Kelly Boo. I've been involved in Best Buddies for 14 years. I'm currently a global ambassador and now merging into the clinical program. And I couldn't thank Best Buddies enough for having me today and hope you have fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. Garrett?
Hello, my name is Garrett Tomaszek. I am currently the chair for the Young Leaders Council and a board of director for Best Buddies International. Along with Maddie, who's about to introduce herself, we were running the Best Buddies YLC Instagram this past year. And so we'll give you some insight on that in a little bit.
Awesome. Thanks, Garrett. Maddie?
Hi, I'm Maddie Quigley. I'm super excited to be here. I am a co-chair of the Young Leaders Council, and I live in St. Louis, Missouri. And like Garrett said, we ran the Instagram together, and then we also did the Maddie and Garrett show, which was super fun. So I hope we get to talk about that today too.
Awesome. Thanks, Maddie. And Joshua, why don't you close us out?
All right. Hey, guys. It's good to meet all of you. My name is Joshua Felder, also known as Swagman Felder. I'm come from Tampa, Florida. I'm a global ambassador involved with the Citizens Program, and I am the newest member of the International Board of Directors.
Awesome. Thank you. What a team of superstars here. So first of all, let's go ahead, and if anybody has general things that you would like to make sure that we're able to answer throughout the session, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Even though this isn't a live session, we're going to continue to be involved and around and answering your questions in the chat. So we're going to give you about 30 seconds here to put some things in there initially so we can get things started. All right, so our first question today, there's a lot of things we can get into when it comes to social media, but I think first and foremost is understanding what platforms you think are most effective for engaging the community, and then why you find that to be the case. So whoever wants to take that one first, go ahead and hop in, and then we can just go around. Yep, Kelly?
Okay, so for that one, like you said, different platforms are for different seasons or different reasons, as I say. So you want to put anything personal, too personal on LinkedIn per se. Say you have like a death in the family. You don't want to post that on LinkedIn because that's more business savvy. And then TikTok are mostly strangers, so they're not going to care about your accomplishments, although you want to boost yourself. Certain platforms are for different reasons, like Instagram and Facebook are more personal. You can pretty much put anything on Instagram and Facebook. Now remember, once it goes on the internet, even if you delete it, it never goes away. So be careful and be mindful of what you post, especially if you are coming up global ambassador or ambassador. You want to be very careful of what you post.
I'll jump in on what Kelly was saying. Yeah, exactly what Kelly was saying, that like different platforms will have different usage. She said about LinkedIn and Instagram, from like a chapter base, it just depends on what population or group that you're targeting, really. Instagram is going to be more of like Gen Z and younger, maybe millennial as well. Millennial and higher is going to be basically like Facebook, as well as like LinkedIn, because you'll get about Gen Z choose about that age now to get into that professional world as well. Instagram is still pretty popping as well for some age groups, as well as TikTok. TikTok has also really taken off, but like what Kelly said, you have to figure out what that content is in order for it to be successful on it as well.
Going off of that with Garrett, also from like a chapter perspective, something that Garrett and I always recommend for chapters is to have consistent information across all your platforms, especially like if you're doing chapter updates or something, make sure that you do that. Like you post on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, if you have those platforms, because you want to have consistent information all across the board and utilizing every single platform that, like Garrett said, some older people are on Facebook, or is like the younger crowds on Instagram. So making sure you're covering all those bases is really important.
And to be careful about profanity. I know sometimes the music can be sounding fun for your stories or TikTok, but if it has profanity and you're, sharing the mention of best buddies, they're not gonna like that too much. So just be careful, like, what do you call it? Explicit?
Explicit.
Yes, thank you, Todd. So you want to be careful, especially now that we're gearing more towards elementary school best buddies. You definitely want to, they're going to look up to you when you're posting these things. So I'm sure they don't have an Instagram yet, but I'm sure their parents are on it. And they'll see a global ambassador posting like, profanity. And they're like, well, I don't want my child to be involved in best buddies because this one single post, ruined their whole thought process of best buddies, so you have to be very careful.
Yeah, so I think what I'm hearing is a lot of the example that you're setting in a public way is really important. So social media is how the world is going to view you, and by extension, how they're going to view Best Buddies, because they see you as a representative of Best Buddies, right?
Yeah, how to present yourself professionally, yeah.
Exactly. So we're going to take a second here and let you drop some questions into the chat and tell us what your favorite type of social media is and how you've used social media successfully in your chapter. All right, awesome. So next question for today is, I know that each of you have had really cool things that you've done to engage your communities individually using social media. So Kelly, I know you do Instagram lives. Josh, with the Super Bowl, I know you had a lot of stuff going around on social media. Maddie and Garrett, you had the Maddie and Garrett show, and plenty more that I'm sure I'm not mentioning right now. So why don't you each talk about kind of the specific things that you've done for Best Buddies on social media, and how you think some of the lessons you've learned from that have continued to help you engage your community.
Awesome. Josh, you want to jump in? Yeah, Josh, go ahead.
What Samantha was mentioning about my whole Super Bowl experience, I definitely use Instagram for the platform because this really got everyone's attention, mostly on Instagram. After posting my accomplishment of performing in the Super Bowl, because I had to keep it a surprise since I had to keep it a secret for about say 3 weeks. So after mentioning it, I feel like the caption is what really got everyone's attention, especially for the whole IDD community. I'll say that I really brought a huge spotlight for the whole IDD community by not letting my disabilities define me from wanting to do something that I want to do in life on my own independently.
How do you feel like you were able to create a caption that was so engaging?
I feel like the caption, when I put, I believe to be the first person with a disability to perform in a Super Bowl halftime show, because I honestly didn't know I was the first. Like, I was just just there. I assumed there's been other people, but then I realized there wasn't. I honestly was the first one. I didn't even know nothing about it at all.
Yeah.
So it was a huge surprise for me, as much as it was a huge surprise from everyone else.
That's awesome.
That was really cool. If you haven't seen that post of Josh, y'all got to go check it out. But as
I'll
for
drop
like the
that link.
YLC, oh, you got a link? Yeah, drop the link. Yeah. But as for like the usage of like different things that we did for the YLC, we did stuff. We mainly wanted to focus on quality over quantity, but also have that nice mixed ratio. Because like Maddie said a little while ago, you want to have that consistent posting, but you don't want to have it too consistent where you can't have that bar quality, meaning that like it's the pictures are clear, there's not a bunch of people in the background, or it's just focused on the two people or group of people in the photo that you're posting about. It's not real blurry, that it has clear lighting, just small things that can overall enhance the quality of your post, as well as we did like highlights, and we color coordinate them and like give them like descriptions, and their highlights are things that can just sit on your Instagram page and can be like a resource that you can help with your chapter members or chapter leaders or whoever, and like whatever content you're wanting to keep saved on your profile. That's a great way to do that. We also added in like a LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, Linktree, and the Linktree allows you to put as many links as you want, and it's free. So that's a great resource that Maddie and I use for the Instagram.
We also, and Kelly can talk about her experience with Instagram Lives too, but something that Garrett and I really tried to utilize, not only with like the Maddie and Garrett show and having, guests come on and getting their audience to see what the YLC is, see what Best Buddies is, but we've also been doing Instagram Lives with members of the YLC talking about their initiatives, and they would tune in from their state account or sometimes their personal account, or, well, we try to do a state, but regardless, everyone from those places got notified that they were going live. So I think Instagram Lives, even if you don't have your notifications turned on for Instagram, you'll still get a notification that someone's going live, and people can tune in for like maybe a minute or 2 minutes. And I think even that small exposure to your account is important. And maybe someone accidentally followed the YLC and didn't really know what it was, and then they got notified that there was a live, and so they tuned in and learned a little bit more about Best Buddies, which I think is really important.
Awesome. And Kelly, I know you go live a lot.
Yeah, so I remember during COVID, I know a lot of the buddies were kind of depressed and not able to leave their homes because they may be high risk and not able to leave. So I'm like, well, I'm always on social media, and that's sort of my thing. That's where how I got hired with K4, social media specialist. So I was like, what can I do to engage all the buddies? We only see each other once a year at leadership conference or virtually. So I started doing live, and I didn't realize how much momentum and people were coming in. We would get like 20 people per live, and then I would like kind of make a teaser and make posters about like, hey, come follow us for the live for our Kahoot or trivia or something like that. And then I will always bring one buddy on to talk about like their journey through Best Buddies and what the Best Buddies means to them. The same questions we talk about often, but from different people. It's fun to hear how they got started and what keeps them involved in the mission. And my favorite one is always, what's their favorite event? So with that being said, I know this is not my Instagram live, but I want to ask each one of you, what is your favorite Best Buddy event? Because that's what we always do on my live. I would do it once a month, so everyone would gear up and get ready for the live. So Samantha, I'll start with you. What's your favorite Best Buddy event? I'll put you on the spot.
Oh, that's such a hard question, Kelly. I wasn't prepared because they're all so good. I would say Champion of the Year Gala is one of my favorites, just because you get to hear about the mission, you get to hear speeches, you get to really see why we do what we do in action, and there's cake. So really, you can't go wrong either way. But outside of that, Leadership Conference is also hard to beat for all of the reasons that we all love it.
Nice. What about you, Garrett?
I would probably have to say the Friendship Ball that Houston puts on, or LC, of course. Friendship Ball, because you just see all the friendships come together all across Houston, so that's really cool. And then there's really good food that they cater in, so that's pretty good perk too. Josh, what about you?
Two events for me is definitely Friendship Walk and Leadership Conference. I really like the Friendship Walk because I feel like it brings more people together, especially people outside of Best Buddies as well that wants to volunteer or help out.
And what about you, Maddie? Thank you, Josh.
I love leadership conference. I miss going in person. This is fun too, but I can't wait till we go back to Indiana.
And I'll
Thank you,
have to
Josh.
agree
Back
with
to you.
Josh. Mine is the walk and leadership conference. I never gone to camp, and I never really had a community of friends who have the same mission as me or the same passion. So I always feel like I'm going to camp every time I go to leadership conference. And my family gets so annoyed. They're like, "You've been talking about it for a month." So back to social media. Yeah, so I really created the Instagram Live, asking those type of questions and engaging folks, and always dropping my Instagram handle. Because sometimes when you go live, it's not just your followers too, like you were saying, Garrett. It's the other person's followers too. So they're like, who are they? Like, what's this all about? Like, how do I get involved? So it's basically like your personal business card for Instagram Live. It's
Mhm.
so fun.
Yeah. And to that question, now that Kelly's asked us what our favorite events are, why don't you go ahead and put your favorite events in the chat? Awesome. So Garrett and Maddie, why don't you tell us a little bit more about how the Maddie and Garrett show got started and how you got some of your guests? So I know that as people would be bringing in, maybe doing something with lives or doing something even just pre-recorded, or once we're back in person doing things more even as actual events and bringing people and guests together, that would be really good information for people to have to promote on social media.
Yeah, so it started off kind of like what Kelly was saying a little while ago. At the beginning of the pandemic, there wasn't really a whole lot going on in Best Buddies because there was so much uncertainty. Not only just in Best Buddies, literally everything. Like everything shut down for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, however long that was. So we wanted to provide something so that either chapter leaders at least are having like some kind of engagement, so that it's not like 3 weeks of bone dry, nothing involvement, nothing going on. So we decided to do like an Instagram live, and then it kind of just went off from there. We started talking about, oh, what about we have all these Best Buddy celebrities? Why don't we like reach out to them? And Maddie and I had met a couple of them at LC in the past before. So we're like, oh, let's like try reaching out to these people. So we did that, and it just kind of went off from there. Maddie, did you have anything else or anything else that you wanted to say on that too?
Yeah, as far as like starting it, like Garrett said, it was kind of just one of the days where we were like, you know what, like I feel like this would be cool. And it turned into something that we were really passionate about, and we would write scripts and look up fun TV shows to recommend for people. And I really looked forward to it every week when we did it. And then when we got like people to come on, we wrote out this script, or not this script, but just like this paragraph and about coming on our live, and we DM'd it to like, I don't know, Garrett, how many hundreds
Yeah, a
of
lot.
people, just over and over again. And I think Instagram even was like, okay, like they would cut us off and they wouldn't let us DM anymore, and then we would have to like reset for a day. But so we did have a few celebrities, but compared to how many people we tried to get, we were that successful. But we did get David Quillen, so
Yeah, there you go. And from like a chapter perspective, if you're wanting to go live and trying to engage your community, because Maddie and I, with our positions and like whether we're global ambassadors or on the Young Leaders Council, we do have like a closer relationship with the Best Buddy celebrities. So we're able to make that connection fairly easily. On a chapter level, it's probably not going to be that easy to make those connections. So you can use celebrities per se of your community. So like your principal or different community leaders. And that's how you can create some engagement within on your social media, but with also within your community as well.
Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
And I forgot to mention as well, I started doing the whole swag boo with Doc because everyone knows us within our chapter as a pair. So we started going live every Wednesday, not just by myself, but I would do like every other Wednesday just by myself, and then every other Wednesday with him and I, and then we would ask song suggestions like Maddie was saying, and trivia, and like Disney was the hit. I think everyone loved the
Yeah.
Disney. And then after Knox and I would do the Flatboo one, then I would go back to mine, and then I started a baking session. I love to cook. I can't cook per se, but I like to make cookies and brownies,
I bake.
and I have a sweet tooth, so it's always fun to make them. I think the last live I did was making mini pizzas and showing people how to make their own lunch from home instead of ordering out like I do sometimes on Fridays. But it was fun to engage people and show them how to make something of their own.
Yeah. Josh, it looks like from what I can tell from when you and Kelly would do lives together, having there be some sort of activity involved makes people be really engaged. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So it's all about, having a topic to talk about. You don't want to just go on a live and just doze off and just don't say nothing at all, because that would lose the audience. To enable to get the audience attention is that, like I mentioned, we have a topic to talk about, or like what Kelly mentioned, have a game for everyone to play. We also do Q&As on there as well. People can ask us questions.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite one that you did?
I don't have no favorites, but since I love Disney, I would say the Disney trivia.
That was our popular one.
It's hard to beat Disney.
That is one thing. Oh, didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're good.
That was one thing that Maddie and I also did during our lives too. We did like Q&A, or we did like what you had said it earlier, Maddie. Like we gave like a top list movies on Netflix or something like that, the ranking of Netflix movies. I think we even did like a raffle or something like that on like the Instagram. We had like a really giveaway, like a gift card for something.
Oh,
I think it was like a Netflix subscription or something for like a month or something. And that got like a large engagement too. So like those are like tips that you could also help if you are a chapter that does really well with like fundraising, and you have funds to devote to that. Like that's another great way to put resources to.
Awesome. Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and put into the chat, what are topics that you would like to see people go live about? What are ideas that you might have for people to take live, or things that you've done successfully in your chapters in the past? Okay, so we're getting close to having a couple last questions, and then I'll let there be a little bit more free time. But another question that I have is, when you're going into Instagram or TikTok, obviously we covered earlier, there are different types of content for those different platforms. But when you pick that type of content, how do you make sure that you're displaying it in the best way? So, for example, are there the best apps for editing pictures for Instagram? Or what apps do you use to stitch things together for TikTok? Or little tips and tricks to help people be able to use those platforms to the best of their ability? Go ahead, Maddie, and then Kelly.
So 2 apps that I really like to use for editing purposes on my personal Instagram is Lightroom, and you're able to like make a preset. And so for me personally, as far as like something that looks aesthetically pleasing, I like when all my pictures have the same filter. So that's up to personal preference though, but Lightroom's super easy to use and it's free. And then as far as video editing, any video that I've ever done for Best Buddies that I've edited, I've used an app called Splice, and it's super easy to use, super user friendly, free as well. And I've used it for years, and you can put music on your videos and edit them and cut them really easily. So highly recommend that. You can do it right on your phone.
Awesome. Kelly?
For me, I use PicArt, and also a free app, and it's fun to edit. And Layout is another one. But also, believe it or not, Instagram and TikTok have really cool edits already within the app. I just find out recently on your story, if you go into your like the part where you like the location part, and then you tap the photo, like add a photo to a picture, you can change the image of the photo. Like it could be a heart. Or, I just find out. I have to tell you guys. I just find out literally this week. It's so fun. And then on TikTok, I've been doing a lot of like mini hauls. I feel like that gravitates the audience more. So like a mini like Target haul or OTD TD outfit of the day. Those sort of things. Like I'm more. So it's basically what you're into. So mine is more like morning routine, makeup, and outfit of the day. So I usually cater that to my TikTok and Instagram. You'll see all my outfits on Instagram. And then you could do voiceover. Those are so much fun. And that's a great way to talk about best buddies or whatever you prefer. And like I said, TikTok and Instagram literally have all the edits sometimes within the app. So you have to kind of feel around for them.
Yeah.
To go off Kelly and Maddie, one app that I use other than Splice is Canva. Those are for like graphics. That's like the best place to go for anything that you're wanting to design. I'm not a graphic designer, but I've been able to convince everyone on the council that I am. So like, it's a really—
Garrett is the Canva king.
I don't know about that, but thank you. I'll take the title. But it's a really cool platform. It started off with like just a set number of templates that you can use for different things, whether it's a presentation, a graphic, or a story post, or Instagram post, whatever you're wanting to create. But now it has like different themes, and you can add in like Best Buddies colors. And once you add Best Buddies colors into it, it kind of just like fits anything and everything Best Buddies wise now. So that's a great tool. And then I had talked about earlier about Linktree. I definitely would recommend utilizing that, and then just put that in everything, and you can put your social media within that link, and then like any like contact information on it as well. So then you can just like share it with people, and then you can create that link into like a QR code, and just like hand that out to people when you're doing like tabling or something. But those are two great resources I would recommend. Josh, do you have any?
I mostly use Pixar as well. I've been using it since high school. They use to edit and use filters for my pictures. I also use the filters that's given to us on Instagram when we're about to post a picture as well.
Yeah. No, those are all super good apps, and we're going to type those into the chat for you so you can be sure to see what they're spelled as, so you can download them if you want. And I love the idea that Garrett, you said about the QR code, because Kelly and Josh have always talked about handing out your business cards when you're tabling. So you can just put your QR code right on the back of your business card, and then you have everything you need.
There you go.
Awesome.
And I know on TikTok, you can add your Instagram account to your bio. So say if you're talking about when you follow me on your other app, they're really good about adding your link, like you're saying Linktree. They're really good about adding your link to your bio. And then for Canva, it's very customizable. So you can literally make your own template. Like their background, you can literally start from scratch and make your own. That's what I use for work. I'm a social media specialist. So we use that Canva app a lot. It's a lot of fun. And it's free. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think you just brought up a really good point there of making sure that if you have so I live in Columbus, Ohio. So for example, if we have a Best Buddies Ohio Instagram and a Best Buddies Ohio TikTok and a Best Buddies Ohio Facebook page, we should make sure that all of those are linked together, because to your point earlier, Maddie, if you post something in one place, you want it to be consistent so that whoever is following you on any of those platforms can find that information. So that's a really good point.
Just a quick tip for linking. I definitely recommend that because you want to have that consistency. Sometimes when you do, depending on like how the linking is, I haven't been able to figure it out myself, but something with like, if you're posting on Instagram and wanting it to be posted on Twitter as well, it won't post as like a regular post on Twitter. It'll post it as like a link that you just posted, and like that link would be your post on Instagram. So you want to make sure that you watch out for that, because you don't want to just have like a bunch of links on your Twitter account or whatever account it is. But if you are able to figure it out, please share it with the rest of the world. But and then just post it with the picture and then like the same caption to keep that consistency, because that is key as well.
Yeah, Kelly?
I forgot to mention that on the group Best Buddies, like your school chapter, you post, don't just utilize one buddy. Maybe do like some more group photos so everyone can feel included. Maybe do birthday shout outs. People really like those. Those are really engaging. And just be mindful, like, yes, this is a chapter event, but it's for everybody. It's like our little yearbook. So when new presidents come in and they're saying that they want to put it in archive and whatever, that's ours to look back on. So um, our Instagram account for our schools are just like our mini yearbook. It's fun to always recap, and especially when TBTs or Flashback Fridays come around, you can just go to their page and reshare their photos. It's so much fun. So
Yeah.
just remember.
Josh?
Also with the Instagram best buddies pages, it's always good to do like buddy pair shout outs, like buddy pairs of the month or of the week.
Yeah, no, those are all great ideas. So go ahead.
I'm going to say in Friendship Friday, those are fun. Or Miss a Moment Monday. Each day of the week has a day apparently on social media world.
Yeah, or Transformation Tuesday, how y'all first met, how y'all friendship is going on this present day.
Yeah,
Go
Garrett.
off of Kelly and Josh there on different themes of like posting and the creativity. If you're ever like wanting something to like base how like your quality or like the level Instagram that you're wanting to like hit in a way, look over on like your state Instagram or any large states just in Best Buddies, their Instagrams. Those are typically the top most run Instagrams because they have so much content. And so they have a lot of resources devoted to that. So you can have that as like a goal or like a way to like try to strive for, to almost like mimic that if you aren't a social media guru, if you want to say that.
Those are all really good points. So we'll go ahead and the five of us will put some things into the chat right now that talk about the campaigns that we've used successfully. But we'd love to hear from you. So you go ahead and put some things that you've been using as successful campaigns for your chapter into the chat as well. Awesome. So one more question for today, and then we have our live session after this where we'll have more of a question and answer with this same group here. So I hope you'll stick around. But how do you think that using social media is important for engaging your community? How do you feel that it's able to really tell the message of what you're trying to get across? Yeah, Maddie?
So I think something that we found like through COVID is social media is able to connect people from all across the country. And on the YLC, we're all across the country too. And so we're able to engage with each other through social media. I've only met Garrett like once in my life for me, like barely any time, and we're like the best of friends now because of social media. And I think we've met a lot of people over Instagram and like doing the Instagram lives. Like I said before, you're able to engage so many people who might not know about Best Buddies just through, you know, a picture that they might see. They'll go to your page and look at something else related to Best Buddies. So I think we found that we can be super successful and super connected just because of social media.
Yeah, Kelly?
About him, Maddie said that came for us. Like when we did during COVID, I actually started another little group called Kelly Boo Hangout. And it was just creating a group of leaders, young leaders, now called Leaders of Tomorrow, because we're all global ambassadors, our up and coming ambassadors. And like you said, some of them I've never met in person, maybe only once, but we are staying in contact so much where now one young lady from Jacksonville is coming to visit Tampa because we've been staying in the loop because of social media. I think that's a wonderful thing. I think people overlook, oh, social media is bad, people can post anything. No, it's really a great way to connect and engage and pushing out content for Best Buddies and awareness. And like I started a whole thing about my birthmark. I mean, it's gotten a lot of attention, things like that. And Josh was talking about people with disabilities a lot. So it's just really sharing your story, and basically a picture is worth 1,000 words. That's what I always say. So it's really good at getting that out there as well.
good to spread awareness overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to go off of everyone what they were just saying, like, yeah, it's a amazing tool that is free for you to use, that interconnects you with anybody and everybody that wants to even just hear about your chapter or what you're doing. It's a great way to just network within your community, a great way to connect with different chapters, a way to connect with different authorities or leaders within your communities. It's a great way to serve as that online bulletin board that you would have posted on in your school hallway, but now anybody and everybody that you wanting to see can see it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anything else that you guys want to add for our session here today?
Just follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
The only other one that I would say is watch out your algorithm. That'll always, it's a great, if you're able to time it right, you can increase the number of interactions with whether that's like a caption or liking, and you can figure that out within your own profile on Instagram. It'll tell you the number of times and when people are going to be on Instagram the most of your followers, so you can time it pretty accurately. Yeah,
Going off of that point, Garrett, I think we do have a social media tricks session that is on demand, to my knowledge, where we go into exactly how to do that, what the numbers mean, and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys want to check that out, Garrett and I have a presentation on that.
Yeah, that one's really good.
Just to be careful, don't forget to not post too many hashtags. That can get kind of weary too. And make sure the caption is not more than a paragraph. You don't want to have like a whole essay. Like no one going on social media to read your entire caption about what you did for the summer. So just be careful. Maybe a cute little quote that you found and going, moving. Those sort of things are helpful too.
I was also going to mention about over posting, like when it comes about yourself. Like mostly just clothing and just posting about yourself, not for about a week, but maybe more than a week, like probably the whole month. Overall, just bragging about yourself and not being humble.
You gotta be careful.
Basically, be humble.
Yeah, have a variety of content. Now, I think these are all really great ideas. So we're gonna stay on for another couple of minutes here and answer your questions in the chat. But thank you all so much for joining us. We're gonna put our social media into the chat and hope that you will too, so we can all stay connected. And if you have any questions at all after this session, please feel free to reach out to any of the 5 of us, and we would love to continue talking to you. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you in our live session here in just a few minutes. Have a great rest of your leadership conference, everyone.